recently came across a video of a female dating coach advising young women between the ages of 18 and 24 to broaden their horizons, have a roster of men on their portfolio, never settle, and understand that men don't mature until later than women do. Okay, so the advice is to have a roster of men that repels men and automatically puts women in the fun zone, and then expect the man they're interested in to take them seriously when these women are seeking validation, attention, and ultimately physical intimacy from other men. Bravo. The purpose of dating was to get to know each other. But now, women seem to look at a date as an opportunity to eat at a restaurant they could never afford. Men are simply trying to find out if the effort is worth the time and money. As for marriage, it isn't cost-effective and just not worth it because it robs you of your peace of mind. Dating only sucks for those women 18 to 24 because they are all going after 9s and 10s and occasional 8OS, while themselves being max 5s and 6S. Sure, Chad will hit it, and maybe string you along, but these men have options with women far hotter. They're deluded into thinking they're 9s and 10s too because of it, and will keep going after all these Chads when they could be with a man more in their price range that wants to commit. Dating apps destroyed the market, causing women to overvalue their market worth. It sucks for them because they want a man their age that is well established. They expect a man their age to have it all together and be making 6 figures out the gate while she's still finishing up school and learning how to take relationships semi-seriously and cook anything beyond top ramen. Yet I hear a lot of, but men my age don't know how to be in relationships, from women. Well, they don't get relationship experience when you ignore them because you're chasing Chads and older men's resources. You don't get to pull a surprised Pikachu face when those guys your age go with younger women when they finally get relationship experience. Should have been humble and tried to build with a man, not wait at the finish line. What Western women don't understand is the fact that if she wants a man with resources, he will be between 35 and 80. And if he's not yet married, he'll be looking for a traditional woman at her peak beauty and fertility level, which is around 18 and 25. Young men at that age have just not been around long enough to have had the chance to gather the number of resources, which would give her the financial and emotional security she needs. Telling women that the best way to find true love is to sleep around with lots of men at the same time is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. It's just an excuse to sleep with hot guys they know will never commit, without feeling guilty. If they want to sleep around, then they should just do it and not make up some damn convoluted rationalization for it. And not once did she say anything about women having to give to get what they're looking for. It was all the same me bees that's keeping women single and on the carousel. Not once did she mention anything about what men are looking for, which is what women need to learn if they want to secure a good one that isn't a Chad or Tyrone. If every woman set the standard for physical intimacy at marriage or even commitment, it would be done. But they know that most of them wouldn't have a card to play if that was the case, because they don't offer much else, and the bottom women would always undercut the standard to stay competitive. Women keep women struggling because that sisterhood doesn't really exist. They are brutally disloyal to each other. There is no code, and that's such a shame. The point is, if women think dating sucks while they are at their peak, they have a harsh reality in store for them. I used to wonder about the idea that women mature faster than men, and what it actually meant. And it only means that women are more interested in relationships before men start being interested in them. And when you dig even deeper, you will come to realize that it's because women expect men to buy them things and take them places. And that fuels the excitement for them to be in a relationship. So in the end, you realize that women understand that they benefit from having a man around, long before a man understands that he does not benefit from having a woman around. And he does not learn this lesson because he is immature to the idea that having a woman around is a complete waste of time. Women use this as a bashing point against men, but this is in fact a bad thing. It means less time is spent in growing and developing areas of the brain. Primates, dolphins, and elephants are known to have the largest and most complex brains in the animal kingdom. And this is largely due to how long it takes for them to reach full developmental maturity in their brains. Studies suggest that humans' hungry brains divert energy from our bodies, slowing growth and leading to a long childhood and adolescence. Humans are late bloomers when compared with other primates. They spend almost twice as long in childhood and adolescence as chimps, gibbons, or macaques do. Taking longer to mature means the brain is going to be larger and contain more complexity, which is no coincidence since humans have the largest and smartest brains in the animal kingdom, while taking the longest to mature. Men have larger and more developed regions in the brain dedicated to logic, math, and visuospatial processing than women. It's a scientific fact that prefrontal cortex development plateaus later in males than females, although males have consistently greater volume and thickness. This makes sense since men have larger brains. Men needed bigger brains because we are the problem solvers of our race. We are the ones having to predict the weather, gather and hunt for resources, and calculate risk versus reward, all historically, of course. But it still seems to largely be the case, that is, men still dominate STEM fields. So, it doesn't make sense for women to use this argument against men, that men tend to mature slower than women. This is how woman logic works. Instead of dating with intentions and communicating your needs like an adult, just spread your emotions thin with multiple dudes to protect your fragile narcissistic ego when they pump and dump you. Men, if you are serious about finding a mate, then you dump any girl with a roster because more likely than not, she is sleeping around, and for men and women alike, it becomes their dominant habit that is hard to break in most cases, even for love. All of these recent videos and culture in general have shown that in the last 50 years, adolescence has been extended to almost 30. The further you go back in the past, the more responsible youth had to be at an early age. The only ones that see this as bad are the childish, validation-seeking, self-absorbed people. Affluence in our society has created coddled and self-serving attitudes, so it's only natural to see this progression. The entitlement of modern women is mind-numbing. If the men you are dating are just looking for a good time, then either stop providing the good time or start dating different men. Hypergamy leaves women alone and living with cats or with a litter of fatherless kids. Stop being hypergamous, and finding a good man for a relationship will become easy. The complete irony, fallacy, and delusion of women having this perspective: 18, 24, they have the most options and would have a multitude of men that they could marry and start a family with. If they have been raised poorly, lack ethics, and developed a poor moral compass, alongside poor decision-making, it will lead to them becoming the crazy cat lady or solo mother further down the road. That dating coach says that young men without experience don't really know what they want, so avoid them. Because young women figure out everything, unlike men. If all women only date experienced men, that means there will be even more inexperienced and undateable men. This is what women are thinking. I only want to date experienced men, but I don't want to give the opportunity to men to become experienced. Other women must be the ones to give experience to the men I will date, but not the other way around, because I am that egotistical. It's like a company only wanting to hire experienced workers, and then complaining only inexperienced workers are available for hire. People with experience always get more experience, while people without experience get stuck unemployed or single. By the way, it's so hard for men to get opportunities, they don't want to drop them unless it's necessary. For women, it's easy to focus on only one man, say he is not good enough, and have dates with 10 other men for the rest of the month. If men don't get an immediate response, they will still accept a date even if they are not her first choice. But women won't accept a man ignoring her for weeks because he thought he could get better. Women have so many opportunities on dating apps, they can afford to focus on one at a time without depleting all their options. Thanks for watching The Circle of Kings. As always, we're looking forward to your support. So please hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything all kings like yourself need to know.